Hello and welcome all of you to my YouTube channel, Animals and Pets with Partha. Today I am going to talk to you about one of my experiences in the very early stages in my judging career. In 1985, I was finally approved as an all-bridge judge under the chairmanship of H. Maharaja Jaideep Singh of Baria at the Taj Palace Hotels in Delhi. And a year or so later, I was invited to a show in Kodaikanal. In my pursuit as a dog show judge, it was my inherent sort of pursuit that I studied about famous dog judges. And one such famous dog judge in those days was Maxwell Riddle from Ravenna, USA. Maxwell Riddle was a very famous name already. He was at that time nearly 80 years old. And it was just, to my great surprise, I found that I was going to judge beside that living legend, Maxwell Riddle, in the show in Kodaikanal. And so there I was in Kodaikanal, a beautiful hill station in southern India, and of course it's very famous. It's a fantastic lake, and it's a great tourist place for people to go. It is one of the best hill stations in India. So in Kodaikanal at that show, I was judging next to that legend Maxwell Riddle. He was nearly 80, and he was accompanied by his then wife Veronica Riddle, who was around, I would guess, around 60s. She was also author of books. And Maxwell, as you know, had written many books. And his very famous book, of course, The Complete Alaskan Malamute, written in 1990, and then was The Complete Shetland Sheepdog, written in 1991. There are many others who are very famous books. But he was one of the very most famous judges of USA. And everyone knew Maxwell at that time. And I'm sure most of the senior judges of today's era would have heard of Maxwell Riddle. Maybe the people of recent times may not have much knowledge about him, but Maxwell Riddle at that period when I judged with him was an extremely famous personality in our world of dogs. And I was very excited to observe how he goes about his judging, and every minute detail about some of the greatest judges that I have observed, and Maxwell is one of them. And he was 80, and he had actually slowed down, and he was assisted by his wife Veronica. With her, of course, I had a lot of long discussions, but Maxwell, of course, did not talk too much, but then he was judging in the ring just beside my ring, and every breed that came in, he had a very straightforward and very identical way of how he went about examining each and every dog. He walked up to the table, and of course I was told his vision was sort of a little impaired at that time, but that doesn't affect his judging at all. He sort of with deft hands and with extreme precision, he examined every and each dog, table dogs, and then of course the dogs that were bigger dogs, the working and other dogs, that he would do, that also he did with great precision. There was, he never faltered, and it was very he was very specific with every dog, and once he examined them, he sent them on up and down in a circle, and then he placed the dogs. So there were not very many dogs at that show, but some very good dogs were there. And I remember I would finish my judging and I would just hop onto his ring, and I would observe how he judged his dogs. And so it was quite an exciting experience for me. So this is one of the personalities that I would say he has many books. He has authored many books, and in modern day, the people who want to learn judging, they would benefit if they studied his books, or of course, it's been my passion in dogs. So I feel that a person to have a complete knowledge about dogs and the dog game is very important if you are an ardent student of this sport of dogs. So with this, I will tell you that there are many other legends that I have judged with, or have actually sort of seen them judging. Another person that I would mention today was in my very early stages of my life, when I started in dogs, was in 1976, Mr. Stanley Dangerfield. He also left a very lasting impression in my forming my career as a judge. I think he was the first man who impressed me by his demeanor, by his personality, and his approach in assessing dogs at dog shows, and the speeches and the talks that he gave explaining to all of us that actually while he went on judging, he also explained means as to why he did and why he did something else, and why he put up some dogs, why he did not put up some dogs. Well, it was 1976, and the show was the Calcutta Kennel Club Dog Show in the CKC grounds, and Stanley Dangerfield was the judge. In those days, it was not very common to have twin shows, so he was the only judge, and it was a big event. In fact, the city of Calcutta, I remember that we had only 2 dog shows. One was organized by the Calcutta Kennel Club, and the other one was organized by the Indian National Kennel Club by Mr. Dilip Bose in the St. Paul's Cathedral lawns, just close by to the Maidans. And Stanley Dangerfield, I still remember that I got Our Dogs issue of 1976, and he has written a paragraph on Calcutta. He wrote, India without the Eastern glamour is a sad place. And the show was held on those endless lawns which was once the jewels in the crown of the British Raj. And then he, of course, went about describing the dogs, and he mentioned that he found a lot of stray dogs in the city while he walked his way through winding lanes, because he must have left the hotel early morning and sort of had a walk around. But he said that the dogs of the show were of extremely good condition. So anyway, he was one person who impressed me, and I still remember that when people asked him after the show, or if they lost or won, they said, "Sir, can you tell me what about my dog?" And he said to everybody that, "Listen, if you want to know about your dog, you come to me after the show, but bring your dog along, and I will discuss your dog with you, for you." So these are small things that actually I still remember, and as you can understand, that even today I recall them so easily, and that those things have had a deep influence in my career as a dog person and a dog judge. I will be talking about dog judging and other things in my forthcoming episodes. Please be tuned. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell button. And of course, like and share it. I will be bringing you a lot of history, a lot of stories about the dog game and dog shows in India and my experiences. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for your support. And see you again soon in my coming episode. Bye-bye and good night.